Hi everyone, Adarsh here. So in this video, this is a continuation series of Jdbc with the Oracle database. In the earlier session, we have seen how we can connect to Oracle database by using Java application with, and we are using a statement, and how we can create a connection, how we can create a statement, how we can fetch the data from database, how we can do the CRUD operation by using statement, and then other things like how we can create a user, how we can create a table, how we can insert that. So those are the things which we have done, and then how we can install the Oracle jar file locally to so that we can use that Maven dependency in form.xml. So in this session, but while using a statement, we have seen that every time what we need to do, we need to create a placeholder explicitly, and we need to set those things by using a string replace first method. So that's what we are doing manually. But if we can get all these things in with the additional benefit to the actual statement, then that will be really great. So we have a prepared statement. So what will happen basically when we'll execute the statement, SQL query will go to the database server and it will compile, it will validate the query, it will compile that, and then tokenize parsing, and then query tree will be created, and then it will execute on the server. So it's a performance, there's some sort of performance lag in that. So just to improve that, we have a prepared statement. So what basically it does, it will once we connect it, it will go to the server first time, it will do all the things, and it will compile, and it will store there itself. So next time whenever we are sending a same query, it will just execute there on the server. So but the drawback with this is, once we remove the connection and we'll just again we'll try to connect that, this will go off. So again it will do the compilation and all, it will not store permanently on the database server. So just to overcome that, then we have to use a stored procedure, stored functions and all. So first thing what we need to do, we need to create a user here. So what we can do, I am having Oracle Express Edition installed on my machine. I'll go to Oracle database home. So we have a default user which comes in that sys user, and password is sys. I'll log into this. I'll say database user, create user. I'll just create a user with my name Adarsh, password also same. I'll give all the privileges. And I'll say create. So it will create that. So I'll just log out and I'll log in from newly created user. So now what we can do, we need to create a table. So what we can do, we can create a table from here also. We can just give the table name and I'll select all these things, or either we can just go to this, enter the command. So we have already ready-made SQL scripts ready with me. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just copy this to this place and I'll just execute my query. So here you can see the table created, and after that I'll just insert the data into the table. So invalid character, okay, just select this, executed one row, executed another row, and executed the third row. So now what we can do, we can say select star from employee, order by java by emp no also run. So it says invalid character emp no. Here we can see that we got the 3 record inserted. Just now we have inserted the 3 records. So let's go to that. So before that, what we need to do, we need to install the Oracle jar file. So we have already Oracle jar file in our folder. So what we can do, we can just go to the terminal. We can say cd doc. We'll go into the doc file. So where we have help.txt. So this is a command which you can copy directly from here. Copy this command. Once you have done, need not to do it again and again, but I'm just doing it again because so that everybody will, whoever is watching any video in between, he can just come to know. So here the Oracle jar file has installed, so now I can use that in. So jar file I have already copied here with the, so that's why we can go into that. Help.txt will explain everything about that. So now we can go into the code. We have a Maven application. So this is a pom.xml where we have a group ID, artifact ID, version, packaging as a Java file because it's a standalone Java application, and then we have a name of application, URL, organization tag, license tag, developer tag we have here, and then the repositories tag, bunch of repository configured, bunch of properties here with the project name, source code encoding, JDK version as of 8. Then we have a Oracle Maven dependency. Just now we have installed that from this Java file. Then we have a testing dependency which is JUnit and SLF4J and logback dependency for login. Then we have a build tag here where we have a jar file name, and we have a plugins where we have a standard Maven compiler plugin which is 3.5. So this is how the Maven POM file looks like here. Then we'll start from the resources. We have a logback.xml where we have a console appender, rolling file appender, and bunch of log levels configured here. So console appender is just to print the log messages on the console, and rolling file appender is just to print the log messages to the log file. Then we have a application.xml which is a configuration file. So basically what we have done, or these are the keys and these are the values. So we have a data driver class name, URL, host name, port name, database name, username, password, and other SQL queries like select all, select employee, update employee, insert employee, and delete employee. So we'll fetch all these queries from our application by passing the key. So first thing which we need to do, we need to read this configuration and store somewhere in the key value form. So we have a property reader class where we are using java.util.properties internally. So in the static block of this, what I have done, I have just read the property file. So in this get property file method, what I am doing, I am just reading the properties, referencing the properties XML file by using file object, and I am just validating whether we can read that or not. If we can't read, we will just throw runtime exception, otherwise I am just returning a instance of file. Then we have what in the next method, what I am saying, I am just passing the X configuration file reference, and I am just getting the input stream of that file, so that we can load all the configurations into this property by using load from XML method which is there in java.util.property, and we'll keep all the configuration into the properties instance in the key value pair. Then to read those values, we have a method, static method here, get property, where we'll pass the key and we'll get the object of, we'll get the value, corresponding value of that. So this is how we are reading the configuration file. Then after that we need to connect to the database. So we have a connection factory class where we are just reading all the properties from the configurations which we have loaded just now, like driver class, URL, hostname, port name, everything we are storing into the variable. And in the static block, what I am doing, I am just loading the driver class and constructing the database URL. And we have a method, get connection method. So in the get connection method, I am using driver manager dot get connection, passing the database URL, username, passwords, and I'll get the connection instance. So I'm just verifying whether connection instance is proper or not by using null as well as is closed method. If it connection is null or is closed, I'll just throwing runtime exception, otherwise I'm just returning the connection instance. And we have another method to close the connection, db connection. Then what we have created a employee instance in employee table into the database. To hold the employee data, we need a employee being class. So we have an employee being class here inside the entity package, where we have employee number, employee name, employee email. We have a default constructor, we have a parameterized constructor, we have setter getter methods, and overrided the toString method for content printing. Then after that, what we need to do, we have done the configuration reading, we have created the connection from the database. Now we need to perform CRUD operations. So for that, we have a component which is known as employee repository. So a repository is the component which which take care of CRUD operation with the database. So we have an employee repository where we have a method get all employee, where we are getting list of the employee. We have a method get employee where we are just passing the employee ID and we'll get the corresponding employee instance. We'll delete for deleting the employee, we have a delete employee method where we'll pass the employee ID and we'll get the operation status in the form of boolean. And we have a update employee where we'll just pass the employee, where we'll pass the employee object and we'll get the, ideally we should get the updated employee here. So let's modify this. We'll go into the definition. So if result is true, we should return the employee, otherwise we'll return the null. So we have update employee method where we are passing an employee instance and we'll get the updated employee, otherwise we'll get the null if employee is not updated. Save employee where we are passing an employee instance and based on the operation status we'll get the boolean. So we have an implementation of all these methods in the employee repository MPL, which implements employee repository. So first method is get all the employee. So in the get all in the employee, what we are doing, we are just reading the SQL, select all employee SQL from configuration by using property reader and storing into SQL query. Then after that, we are creating a connection by using connection factory class and we'll store the connection into connection variable, and then we'll create a prepared statement. So in the prepared statement, we will pass the query and we'll get the prepared statement. So after that, what we are doing, we will just execute the prepare statement and we'll get the result set. We are verifying it should not be null. After that, we are just creating a list of employee and then we are just iterating on the result set. We are just fetching the data, column data from the result set based on the positions, creating an employee, and we are just adding into the list, and at the end we are returning the complete employee list. Then we have a get employee method where we are passing employee ID. So what we are doing, first we are just getting the employee, select employee based on the employee ID SQL query by using property reader into the SQL query. Then we are creating a connection factory. We are creating a connection by using connection factory. Then what we are doing, we are just creating a prepare statement passing the SQL, and then in the prepare statement we are just setting the value of employee ID, because if we go into the query here, we have select employee where employee number equal to question mark. So that question mark value we need to set. That's what we are setting here. That's a positional parameter. and then we are executing the prepare statement. We'll get the result set, and with the result set we are verifying it should not be null and it has some value. So we'll just go inside that, we'll get the value from result set, we'll create the employee instance and we'll return the employee instance. Then we have a delete employee method. In the delete employee method, what we are doing, we are just passing an employee ID, and we are just reading the delete SQL query from configuration by using property reader and storing into SQL query. Then we are creating a connection by using connection factory, and we are creating a prepare statement by using connection object and passing the SQL statement here. After that, we are setting the parameter for delete SQL query by in the prepare statement, and then we are executing the prepare statement by using execute update. We'll get the result and we are returning true false based on that. So if deletion is successful, we'll get a value 1. If it is not successful, we'll get the value 0. So basically the number of rows affected is the number of rows affected is a result of these sort of execution. Then we have a update employee method where we are passing up employee instance, and first thing what we are doing, we are just getting a update SQL query from configuration by using property reader and storing into SQL query variable. We are creating a connection by using connection factory. We are creating a prepare statement, update prepare statement, passing the update SQL query, and then we are setting the positional parameters. So if we go into this update SQL query, we have 1, 2, 3 positional parameter. So that's why we are setting 1, 2, 3 positional parameter: employee name, employee email, and employee number. And then we are executing the query, so we'll get the number of records updated. So we are just verifying, and based on that, if it is more than 0, we are returning the updated employee, otherwise we are returning the null. Then we have a save employee method where we are passing the employee instance, and we are reading the insert statement. So this is the insert statement what we are reading from there, so and storing into SQL query. And then we are creating a connection instance by using connection factory. Then we are creating a prepare statement by using connection, passing the insert statement, and then we are setting all the positional parameters here, 3 positional parameters, and then we are executing the prepare statement and we'll get the response, and based on that response we are returning the true false to the caller. So let's just to test all these things, I am having a JUnit test case. So in the JUnit test case, what I have done, I have just created a employee repository instance here, and first test case what we have, that is select all the employees. So we'll execute this first. Okay, we have changed this, so we'll get the employee. Just now we have changed that, so let's execute this statement first, where we are selecting all the employee. That's a test case for that. So it will come inside that, and what we are doing, first thing, we are just reading the SQL statement, select SQL statement. Then we are creating a connection by using connection factory. Then we are creating a prepare statement by using connection object, and then we are executing the query, and then we are getting the result set, and then that result set we are validating, and we are getting all the row by row. We are fetching that by using result set.next method and creating an employee object and setting into the employee list. So we'll get a 3 object: Adarsh Kumar, Radha Singh, and Amit Kumar. 3 object which we are fetching from database. So what we are doing, we are just printing that employee instance into the log. So here we can see that we got the 3 employee result. Then in the next test case, what we are doing, we are just selecting the employee whose employee ID is 1. So first thing, we are just reading the SQL statement. So here you can see the question mark is there, where employee number equal to question mark. Then we'll create a connection, then we'll create a prepared statement. We'll create the prepared statement, then we are setting the value into prepared statement. So now you can see that question mark will be replaced. The prepared statement, you can see that question mark will be replaced statement. So basically what it does in this query, whatever the question mark was there, that will be replaced by this value, and then we'll get the result set. That result set we are checking, and then we are getting the values out of that result set, setting into the employee, and we are returning the employee which we are printing. So we'll get the response here. In the logs we can see that we have fetched the employee with the employee ID 1. Now what we are doing, we are just saving the employee with employee ID 4, name Sonu, email Sonu@same. So it will come here. We'll get the insert statement with the all these insert statement we'll get. Then we'll create a connection, and then we'll create a prepared statement passing the query. Then we are setting the positional parameters. We are just executing that statement, and we'll get the result, which is 1. We are returning the result, and we are printing the appropriate message to the log file. Employee inserted true. So if we go into this, and if we'll just execute this, instead of 3 we should get 4, which is Sonu, recently we have added. Then we'll execute update employee, where we are just updating the employee with recently we have added 1 employee, so we are just changing the name here. So we'll get, first thing we'll get the SQL query, we'll create a connection, we'll create a prepared statement by passing SQL query. Then we'll set the positional parameters, and we'll execute the query and getting the result and printing the result. So here we can see that updated employee is this. So let's check whether Sonu is this changed to Sonu Singh or not. It has been changed. So now what we are doing, we are just testing the delete functionality here. So in the delete functionality, we'll get the delete SQL statement, then we'll create a connection by using connection factory, then we'll create a prepare statement by using connection and passing the SQL statement into that. Then we are setting the parameter, positional parameter, and then we'll execute the prepare statement and returning the status to the caller test method. So here it is successful. So employee deleted true. So let's check in the database whether it's deleted. No, it's deleted now. See, we got the 3 records here. So that's it for this session. I hope this will help you to understand the concept, and please share your thoughts, comments, and do subscribe my channel. I'll push this piece of code to my GitHub repository, which is Adarsh Kumar Singh 83/Java_JEE. So once you get into this, you can see there is a JDBC. Inside JDBC you can see MySQL and Oracle. So I'll just push the code into the Oracle, so you can see inside that. So that's it for this, and I'll come up with something related, come up with the related stuff to this. Till then, take care, bye.